Hello, everybody. Welcome to Monday Night Live. I didn't set any of my iPad up, so let's see what's going on here. Oh no, hang on. Come on. Okay, we're having a technical difficulty here. Hang on. Come on, you. Ah, there we go. All right. Here we go. How's everybody doing tonight? All set up. I love it. All right, here we go. I apologize for the ragamuffin look. It is 8,000 million degrees here, and it's unexpected. It was -2 just days ago, so we're just adjusting very quickly here. All right, so how's everybody doing? Everything is very exciting around here in the studio. Oh, we have Thwan. Thank you so much for tuning in. Where are we tuning in from tonight? I am in the last tiny little bits of prep for my market in 2 weeks. I'm very excited. We are going to be doing all of my product is ready. I'm just kind of getting last little minute things sorted out, so I'm super stoked about that. And then I'm really eager to be working on this today. Qatar, that's amazing. Welcome from so far away. I love that. So the market's been crazy, so you'll see lots of stuff on the socials in the coming days for that. And then I'm going to be working on this. And then after the market, I'm going to be doing a lot of throwback art to throwback posts to art that I have done relatively recently, but haven't posted or given the kind of attention it needs. So you'll see lots of that coming up in the next little while. But for right now, we're going to keep working on the tarot cards. So I was able to work yesterday quite a bit and trying to iron out the style that we were working on last week. It was a little scattered last week. We kind of had highlights all over the place and lowlights all over the place, and I just wasn't sure I was getting the effect I wanted for something that's going to end up being pretty small. We're going to be zooming out quite a bit. This is about 2 or 3 times bigger than the illustration is going to be printed at, if all goes to plan. So I wiped out all of my highlights and shadows from last week and added these ones in. So let's see if I can hide a couple of these away. So I kept the main highlights and shadows, and the main, the big light bit on her hair and the big dark bit on her hair. And then instead of doing kind of a scattered, this is kind of what we had last week, I just hid that away, and we had highlights in the highlight section and then lowlights in the lowlight section. And I think that's giving us a really nice kind of warm effect. So I continued with that. You can see a little bit in her brother's hair here. Didn't go too far with this because it's a very tiny little piece of the red, but I wanted it to appear nicely as well. So more highlights there than darks. And then I pursued that same style, as you can see here in his hat. So I'll show, those are the main shadows. So these are some of our dark shadows. You can't see too much. The contrast is not huge, but I think enough to make the effect really work nicely. Yeah. So I did that with his hat, her dress, and clothing, and I touched on that. And then I started working a little bit on kind of how I want to do the shadows and lights in these sections that aren't broken down. So some of the pieces here don't have that kind of broken down glass, but I want it to still kind of look like stained glass. So I have a bit of kind of speckle approach happening there right now. So we'll see if I continue with that, if that's going to work for us a little bit later. And then I have another idea on how to further emphasize this layer effect. I've been working on getting these cards kind of laid out. I have quite a few more that are ready to sketch So I'm kind of thinking I want like 3 layers. I really want to emphasize the paper effect while maintaining the stained glass effect. So I want to have kind of 3 layers in each card. I'm finding some cards that's not going to really work, but we're going to figure that out a little bit later. But I also kind of want to try to figure out a way to kind of really layer this out. Like I want to separate her a little bit from her brother, really kind of give a little bit of separation there to have that layered effect, and then really knock him away from the background, just to give a lot of depth to this. So that's going to be a little bit of playing around that we're going to do today. So I'm going to start with doing some of the effect that we did here in her hair, but on our chair, just to show you what we were doing. So this is our highlights, and this is my, oh, that's the splatter. This is the main low lights. Okay, so I'm gonna go in with my big brush and effect. So this is a multiply layer. Oh, it's a splatter brush. Sorry, I gotta switch to my recent perfection. Okay, so we're gonna do this, but we're gonna put it up. Nope, thank you. 120-ish we had here. Yeah, so we're gonna add some of our low lights in here. I'm just gonna really pop this chair out a little bit because it's a little flat right now. So we're gonna pop it out a little bit. We have highlights on here already. I just showed them, but I'll show you again. They're really subtle in the gray, but that's okay. I think we can really emphasize those with the tiny highlights. Dog next door. Okay, so we have like a little bit of a highlight, so not much, but we'll be emphasizing it shortly with the tiny details. All right, let's make sure I'm on that is the incorrect one. This one. Yeah, I just want to make sure we're on the right layer here. Sorry for all the background noise. Like I said, it's pretty hot here. I don't have my air conditioner out or anything like that, so the windows are open. If it gets to be too much, I will turn it off. I'll close the windows for us, but hopefully it won't be too bad. So just adding in some low lights to kind of emphasize the shape of the chair here. We're not going to get too fancy about this because we want that stained glass effect. I'm going to be pulling it back from the edges, so I'm not too fussed about the lasso that we're picking. See, already a lot more form to that chair, which is super great. And then we're going to do some here. Good boy, Bug. Where's this good boy? You're a good boy. Want a cookie? Sorry, I must positively reinforce the critter. Oh my gosh, we're running out again. Did you eat all these treats? Here you go, handsome. Let's go. All right. So this is just a simple gray over top of the chair right now. It is underneath our hue saturation layer. So if I had picked a color, it would have grayed it out anyway. So that's a really kind of good sanity check for myself to make sure that I'm keeping the red separate from the black and white, because the red's pretty significant in the meaning of the illustration. Pull this back a little bit here. Okay, and then I think we'll do a little bit here. Oops, a little too far, I think. Just to show that kind of extra space. I was doing some research on stained glass illustrations, and I've almost been doing too much work, it seems, for the style. All this shading and everything, not a lot of people are doing that, so it's a little bit extra, but I think it's coming out really nice, and especially like the way her hair is right now, it's really rich. I'm like really loving how like life like that is, because it's so important. Like her hair is really key. So I'm glad that that's the case. Okay, I'll throw a little bit of a shadow here, and then we'll start throwing in some extras in a second. Now all of these shadows are on one layer, so I do have to be careful, like with where his pants are and everything like that. I don't start erasing some of those shadows, but I think we'll be okay here. All right, so we're gonna save. We have our highlights. So now I'm gonna go to, I already have the dark brush selected, so let's just go in and we'll start doing the low lights in here. And we're gonna see these have a bit more of an impact because this is a lighter chair. You don't see it too much on the hat and everything, but that's kind of our darkest black. So this is gonna start bringing things in a little bit more. So I brought my brush down. I just am using the soft round opacity one. I just want kind of like a little bit of a gradient happening here. And like I said, we're going to be putting this in the dark sections of the chair, and in the lighter ones we're going to put highlights just to kind of get a nice kind of soft look to it. I'm so excited about how this is coming together. It was a little bit of trial and error yesterday, but we made it come together, which was great. Not really living for that. So let's just pull this back a little bit. Let's try that again. It's kind of big for this small space, I think is actually what our problem is here, but that's okay. These are smaller sections than like her hair and things, so it's filling up the space quite a bit. Okay, so all we're doing here is just kind of giving kind of each glass section a little bit of modeling, just to give it a little bit more emphasis without going too crazy. Like I said, this is going to be presented smaller than it is, so I don't want to be going too crazy with detail. So you can see we're just giving a little bit more shape, which is great. Just using the lasso to keep my brush under control within some of the sections so that I don't have to worry about being too careful or having too many overlapping strokes. Because I also have the brush is on a multiply, so I don't want it to get too out of control. Good job, Moj. I don't want it to get too dark and I'd lose this paper pattern, which I'm really liking on this chair right now. So what's everybody up to tonight? It's Monday. Good start to the week already. for those of you who are newer here, we're in Adobe Fresco today, working on a tarot deck that I have had waiting for me to start working on for a long time. So it's patiently been waiting its turn. This is card 1 of many. Okay. Okay, so this is kind of like, it's a little windier than the rest, so I'm going to have to make some decisions as to where I want some of the highlights to be, because I don't want it to be all dark on this either. Probably be in shadow because his arm's in the way. So. All right. There we go. Okay. No, sorry. We're only in darks right now. I just don't want to go back and forth with all the brushes. I'm going to accidentally put something on the wrong layer, so I want to put all the dark shadows in first. And then we'll come back and do some of the highlights. I think this will be no, don't do that, please. There we go. Oh, we have Alessandra in the chat. Ooh, day trip in Boston. Fun. That sounds like a good time. Not to worry. We're just working on some more of the piece from last week. I figured out how I'm going to do my shading and lights, so we're making some progress is what we're doing here, which is amazing. Okay, so we'll do a kind of light one here. Oh, Odari's here. What up? How's everybody doing? Lurking and cooking dinner. Yum, yum, yum. I was going to wait to eat dinner after the live, but Hungry Aaron vetoed it. Okay, and then we'll do a lightish one here. Just to kind of get that transition going. Fried rice and chicken veggies. Nice. I had like a burrito bowl, but it had shrimp, and it was delicious. I'm living for the shrimp lately. So tasty. Okay, we'll do a couple dark shadows here, and then we'll get into the highlights of the chair, and you can see how this effect is going to come together. I love pad thai. It's one of my very favorite foods. Oops, let's get rid of this. I like to take the, let's be careful. I like to take the lasso off because I find it sometimes leaves a bit of an edge of the color hanging around, which I don't really want here. All right, so let's make sure. All right, we seem to have a good richness on this chair, which is super great. Chicken tenders, pasta salad, and garlic bread. Garlic bread. I miss garlic bread. Okay, so now we have our highlights. Perfection. I'm just going to switch over to our light gray, and we're going to lay some highlights down here, and I'll show you what that effect looks like. There we go. Lasso tool. How was your weekend? I'm off this week and forgot today was Monday. Oh, that's an excellent problem to have. I am not off this week, unfortunately, but my weekend was good. The crappy weather unfortunately induced a migraine in two, so I was kind of like idle and sitting in the dark a lot, which is unfortunate. But that was mostly Saturday. I was able to kind of bounce back on Sunday and get a little bit more done, which was nice. Weather doesn't always impact me like that, but it sure knocked me out on Saturday, so that kind of sucked. But it forced me to take a bit of a break, so that was kind of okay. Nice if I could take a break where I could see, but you know, I'll pick my battles for right now. And then just getting ready for my market, getting everything ready to go. We only have one more week, so it feels a little stressy, but I feel like I have everything. So my sister's helping me with my sign. It's all coming together. I'm very excited. Yeah, sorry for the noise. It is 8 million billion degrees here. Not really, but it's a lot hotter than it has been. So I have all my windows open. So I apologize for the noise because I don't have any fans or anything set up. I will do something better for next week. Yeah, we're hit and miss with the rain too, Ojari, so hopefully it won't be too bad. Like, they called for a lot of rain this weekend, and we didn't really get as much as they were saying, so hopefully it won't, like, wreck everybody's time. You know, I'm always down for a little bit of rain too sometimes. Yeah, me too. I hope the market goes well too. I'm a little nervous, but I think I'm ready to go, so it'll be really a good time. Yeah, we're in the pretty much the same zone here, so hopefully not too much crazy rain, or if we have lots of rain, gets it out of its system before weekend after next, because I have outdoor market business. All right. Really love this paper pattern that this chair is made of. It's got so much going for it, and with just like the words and the flowers and everything, it's perfect for this chair. It's like it was made for this chair. Oh, a little cooler in Boston, huh? It's so weird here right now because like my brother is about 10 hours north from me, and they got snow a couple days ago, and we're down here with it was 27 this morning. What Celsius? So it was pretty warm here today in comparison to them getting lots of snow, like not a dusting, like lots of snow. So it's kind of crazy around here right now. Oh, that sucks with the fibromyalgia. My aunt has that, and that's no fun. Especially when the weather impacts it like that. Like I got migraines this week, and sometimes weather will induce it, but it's not every time, thank goodness. But yeah, if you have something that's impacted by the weather, this time of year is probably no fun. Yeah, it's pretty humid here too. And it's hard because like all the buildings, like our office building and like apartment building and stuff, they don't really have the temperatures sorted out yet. So some have kind of sort of have the heat on, or at least the air conditioning isn't on yet. So it's a little bit much. Ugh, humidity induced vertigo. That would make me move to the ice places. No, thank you. That sucks. All right, a couple more pieces here, and then we'll move to something else. I have lots of sketches still to do for a few more cards, but I have a few cards that are ready to be sketched, so I think we won't be working on this one next week. We'll be moving on to the next card, I mean. Oh, careful. All right, so what do we got? Yeah, all right. See, that looks like a cozy chair now. So stoked. Look how cozy that chair looks. My goodness gracious. Okay, we'll hit save. Okay. So that's our highlights and shadows. I think we have a few more to do, but like I want to figure out in the chair and all that kind of stuff. But for right now, what is this? What am I looking for? This? Yeah. So I want to work a little bit on what I was thinking for these larger sections. So you can see here I've got like kind of a splattered paintbrush. I'm kind of trying to use those for the shadows in these larger sections because I think like it might be boring just to have kind of plain. But I just kind of experimented with that very lightly before I had to like go make dinner yesterday. So let's see how it goes with these bigger sections because it may not like come across the way I want it to. I really just want it to be subtle and do the same thing, pull the edges back. And most of the sections that I did this kind of not broken down part, I think it'll be okay just to have the one set of shadows instead of two, just because they're larger sections or ones that don't need as much detail. So just having the one set of shadows and stuff should be okay here. But we'll see how it comes together. Oh, what is the matter? I worried it might be a little bit much with this kind of splatter background, but I also suspect that my next steps with this will reduce the impact of that splatter background. So that contrast might not be as strong. Everybody says hello, boo. This looks great. Thank you. I'm actually really thrilled with this. Once I found out that kind of balance for the shadows, light on light, dark on dark, I'm like really, really happy with how this is coming together. So I'm very excited to try this style on further cards to make sure it's not just a one-off. Whoops. Okay. Now I can't recall why I decided to have some things broken down and other things not broken down in like the glass format. I think more just kind of like lighter pieces and kind of things that wouldn't need as much pattern. Like her hair is naturally going to have a lot of texture, so I think I threw it in for that. And a skirt probably has lots of pleats and different colors and things, so I think that's why I chose to do some of these. Whoops. Broken down or not. I knew I didn't want all of it broken down, so. Agreed. Fantastic work as always. Thank you guys. Yeah, I'm extremely excited. Like I've been itching all day to get home so I can work on this. Okay, now I'm not certain that the skin makes sense. Is it hot, buddy? Too sweaty? I know it's pretty hot, eh? Gonna come up and say hi to everybody. I'm gonna let you down. Do you want to say hi? There's Mojo. Mojo says hello. Is that better? Can you breathe? It's too hot. Okay. You want down? Okay. You can go get some energy. There we go. Woohoo! It's a little too hot to be sitting on my lap, I think, for him. All right, I don't know if the face is where we want this, but we are going to try. Oh yeah, see, that's not so bad. I was worried it was going to be like a extreme freckle situation, which there's nothing wrong with that. But I think we're okay here. I liked all your drawings on your live this week, Alessandra. It sounds like my life right now. 8,000 things at once. Which is probably also why I got migraines on the weekend. No slowing down. Always going faster. Leave that neighbor alone. Mojo, look at me. Good boy, quiet. On your bed, please. Nope, leave them alone. On your bed. Good boy. Shh. Good boy. Where's the things? You're not the first person to say that to me lately. You need to slow down, girl. I will. As soon as the market's done, I have very solid chillin' plans. Early in the stream, I mentioned actually after the market, I have a lot of new art coming out, like right now because of the market. But I think when that dies down, I'm going to be kind of posting work that I've already done and kind of like relaxing a little bit. And kind of work on the lives and things like that, but not get too crazy because it's time to take a bit of a break because otherwise I am going to burn out all the way. The market is the weekend of Mother's Day. It's on the Saturday. So everything's pretty much ready. So I'm already starting to slow down, which is nice. Oh, hang on. Excuse me. Leave the neighbors be. Come here, bud. Go boy. Come here. So the slowing. No, I said, come here to me now. We're on the live. No one wants you yelling. Lie down. Sorry, guys. Lie down. Yeah, so as soon as that dies down, I'm going to slow down and rest a little bit. Work on these kinds of pieces, things I'm excited about. Not that I'm not excited about markets, but you know what I mean. Things for me. Excuse me. Man, it's been a while since he's had a... Oh my goodness. Please hold. Dude. Can it? Leave them alone. They make that noise every day. You just come sit with me, cranky man. I'm going to yell at these people in their ears and they're not going to be so upset. Good Lord. What a guy. So yes, the slower pace is on its way. Yeah, that's what I want. That's how I wanted. Here we go, and a little bit this way, not too much. I don't want to go too crazy with the splatter because I think they'll start overshadowing things, which I don't want. Oops, I got too aggressive there. Alright, so I'm going to save this. The spoons need some attention, but that's kind of boring, so. Oops, watch your foot. There we go. Oops. Whoops. Okay, I'll save this. And then I think before we go too deep into the other side, I'm going to duplicate and clear. We're going to do the splatters on the highlight side to make sure this actually works before we go too deep into this madness and then find out it doesn't work. I'm confident it will though. It may be a scenario where we don't. There's not a lot happening there, so let's try. We may, just because the splatter is so fine, we may not even need the highlight. Yeah, you can't really see it. Just a little bit, eh? So maybe we don't. Maybe just the cats maybe get some highlights. They're a big enough space. Unless maybe the gray's too light. If we do the white, maybe. Yikes. This is my splatter brush, eh? Okay. Actually kind of takes some of the effect away. So maybe not. Maybe we won't do a highlight there. Maybe we won't need it. We can always emphasize, I guess, with a little bit of a highlight brush in some spaces if we want. Yeah, I think so. Okay, so we'll go back to where... Okay, so we gotta put in some other shadows, so let's do that now. There we go, adding a little bit of that effect. This back. Sweet. All right. Oh, I'm living. Okay. So let's throw some splatter onto, we'll just put like the band on his hat and then his arm, and we will move on to something different. Oh my gosh, 15 minutes left. What the heck? Well, give me a few minutes to workshop what my next steps might be. So we've got some time. And then my plan is to move on to another card next week. I was going to do that this week, but then once I found the... Now let's try these erasing lines again. Once I found the highlights and the shadow style, I felt like there was enough work here that it wouldn't be too boring for live. It's so satisfying to watch it all come together. Woohoo! Not that. There's a few things I can see that aren't quite cleaned up and everything, but it kind of adds that kind of grainy black and white effect too, which is kind of nice. So I'm not going to get too fussed about some of those tiny details. Oops, don't do that, please. Okay, so we've got most of the shadows. There's a few I want to add in, like the spoons and stuff aren't fully formed out. The kind of baubles on the chair, like the legs and stuff on the chair, need some work. But I'd like to kind of workshop the kind of layering idea I have here. So I really kind of want her to really pop out. Like we're gonna have 3 layers. So the girl and the kittens, her brother on the chair, and then the background. I really want to emphasize those layers quite a bit. So I was trying to figure out how to do that. Like this is already a pretty good effect, but I really want to kind of punch them out a little bit further. So we have this saved, and we're going to work on fresh new layers so we don't make a mess. Where are my... This is the one I want. Okay. So I want to be under this layer because I have 2 different ideas. Alessandra says, my market's in June 8th. I almost have everything. Just have to order a new roll pin because the one I have broke. Sad day. Yeah. It's just all these like little details I hadn't thought of before. So I definitely don't... Oh, sorry. New layer. I don't know that I want it to be... Okay. So what I want to do is kind of separate these out a little bit. In like, not like this obviously, but I kind of want to break it apart and then have a shadow that really pops. Difference, but I think I might... I don't know if white is too harsh. So what I'm thinking is like, this won't work in this layer because all that other stuff is peeking through. But I'm just wondering if we do something like this. I just want to kind of visualize it. This is why we use all those free layers. This is just a test to see what we're looking at here. Because I kind of liked the lines, like the kind of cut out white lines I was using with the unicorn and the, oops, Iron Man, etc. And then if I do multiply and we go like this, like this, and then we do, it's gotta be a dark shadow, and we're gonna do this, and we're gonna do, you know what, I don't want it to be crazy. Is this a multiply? Okay, just settle that, okay? And then if we put in the white cutout might, and then we do is the, again, nice and neat. And if we did, I don't dislike it. Like, do we think the white is too harsh? Like, it kind of almost looks like stickers, one on top of the other. Is it too harsh? I just worry if I go with a black line, you're gonna lose it. Okay. What do we think? Is it good or bad though if it looks like stickers? Like, I just wonder if it takes away from the effect if I have it like that, or do I just keep emphasizing with the shadows a little bit? Maybe just the shadows, eh? Because I could always emphasize with a kind of a thicker dark line to break those layers up, because then her and the kittens can be the kind of front little bit, and then he can be in the back. And then I'm going to really wash out the back quite a bit with more shadows and things, because we also are going to have the card border on here. I'd totally make a sticker of her with those kittens though. So maybe not the sticker look. What do we think? So you have this, just these shadows instead of the lines. Okay, cool. Okay, so what I'll do, because there's going to be shadow also like in here, like both ways. Okay, there'll be some playing with it then, because there's going to be shadow all in here. Obviously not like that, but it's going to be shadow in there in between her and the kitten. Okay, maybe what I'll do is I'll play with that a little bit and get some layers playing, and then that's where we can kind of start playing around. Because I know almost for sure I'm going to be doing these dark shadows, for sure. Because I really want that effect. I'm not sure they'll be as harsh either. There's probably going to be, I've got some paper layer reference that I want to look at. So I'll look at it in the next coming days to see how I can get that effect. So that's what I'm going to play around with next. Get some dark shadows in here. Yeah, I think it's going to be more gradual shadow for sure. Because I think like it's cutting it off a little bit too much, unless I do it lighter and have the background. Okay, it looks like I've got a lot of experimentation to do. So we'll turn this off for now because it's scary. And we'll play around with that a little bit later too. Agree with the shadow effect. So yes, I definitely like the shadow effect. And then maybe I'll make some separate stickers of just Poppet and the cats. Okay, so we have a direction. But first we have a really cozy chair and kittens that are all playing around. And we have most of our highlights and shadows. Like I said, I've got to put in the highlights and shadows in the spoon and the these added little pieces on the chair here. But then I'll be playing around a little bit with that effect. Turning off and on lots of layers. Maybe we mix both. Like maybe I do a harsh black line around it and then a harsh white line around it. See lots of people coming in. Hi, Adobe. How's everybody doing tonight? All right. Yes, much experimentation must happen, I think. Nuts. 'Cause I like both ways too. It's hard to say. I'll turn. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do at all. I wanted this to turn off. So much experimentation. Okay, well, you guys don't want to watch me turn layers off and on all night. So, I'm going to let you all go, I think. And this will be the next thing I figure out. So I figured out the highlights and the shadows, which I'm loving. Like, her hair is fantastic. Yeah, no, I'm really liking how the highlights and the shadows came in. So for those of you who weren't here at the start, we kind of added in lots of shadows today, really emphasized that chair, getting some of those highlights happening, just to bring it a little bit more life. I love how this is coming out. Thanks, Alessandra. Me too. I have lots of experimentation still. I thought for sure I'd be done this week. But we still have some stuff to figure out. So I will be doing some tests. Oh, I love her hair. Yes, me too. I'm as soon as I saw it come together this way, yeah, I knew that we had tapped into something here. It glows. It's fantastic. Okay, but I will let you all get on with your fabulous evening. I hope everybody has a really good week. Thank you so much to everybody who tuned in. We've got lots of stuff to do here on this illustration. I just like last week, I'll see where we end up and how things turn out, whether we get into a different illustration next week or not. But for right now, I think I am living for how this is setting up. And I think we're setting up to a really cool rhythm here. Yeah, I think it's going to be great. All right. Thank you so much for everybody for tuning in. If you're on the socials with me, Instagram, Facebook, Behance, keep an eye out this week. I have lots of updates. There may or may not be a shop update coming up later this week ahead of the market. So do keep an eye out for that. We have stickers, bookmarks, cards, prints, all kinds of madness in this place. So take a look for that. Next week we'll be back with more tarot, whether it's this card or a new one, I'm not sure, but we will definitely be back next Monday. I hope you all have a great week, and again, thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you all soon. Thanks, guys. Bye.